Twilight flipped back the covers and eased out of bed. Hooves and bare floorboards weren't a good mix if you were sneaking around, so she had to go slowly and remember where the creaky bits were. She passed by her signed poster of Rainbow Dash, pushed open her door, and snuck down to the kitchen. Sadie? Her whisper received no answering whine. Shafts of moonlight just missed the basket in the corner, so she had to get close to confirm her suspicions. It was still empty. Sadie! Her head dropped. She had been hoping that the dog would come home when it got dark. It wasn't fair. Mom and Dad insisted she go to bed instead of to sit by the window and keep watch, which was really mean of them. When she had said no, however, Mom had got that stern look she always did right before she got mad. Mom got mad a lot, usually when she had one of her headaches, but it was quite sort of mad. She never raised her voice or stomped around the cottage, but Twilight could tell when she had done something wrong and scurried off to her room until Dad would calm everything down. She assumed Mom was mad at this time because she had lost Sadie, so she had gone to bed, but stretched out restlessly beneath the covers. Eventually, Mom and Dad went to bed, but they didn't come in to tell her Sadie was home and safe, and everything was okay now. So, of course, when the clock struck 3, Twilight had to go see for herself if the bowl of food that had been tempered to her home. It hadn't. Tears welled up in Twilight's eyes. Sadie had been with her for as long as she could remember. Life without her seemed impossible. Who would greet her with a big licky tongue when she got home from school? Who would chase the sticks she threw? Who would play hide and seek with her around Dad's drum kit? What would be the point in going for walks without a dog? Oh, Mom and Dad didn't seem to care. Twilight Sparkle goes seems to get twinkles screwed up in her face, resentment rising inside her. When her mom got mad at her and she hid in her room off, Sadie was the only one who knew to check under the bed and would wiggle in beside her. When Twilight pretended to be Rainbow Dash and jumped off the bed flapping her forelegs, Sadie always yipped encouragement and then bounced around until she picked herself up again. If Mom and Dad had their way, Sadie would stay lost forever, and it would be Twilight Sparkle's own stupid fault for not taking better care of her pet. No, Twinkle whispered fiercely. Opening the back door of her cottage without making a noise was harder than getting her bedroom door open. It creaked when she opened it past a certain point, so she had to squeeze through the gap. She nearly knocked over a trombone Dad had left in pieces on the floor, but it stopped with one hoof before it crashed into a tuba next to it. In the morning, Mom would probably yell at him for making a mess and not clearing it up before bed. Twinkle left the room ajar so she could back inside without waking anyone and get yelled at too. Outside was as sharp and cool for a midsummer night. She shivered, but it didn't falter as she set off into the woods, where she had seen Sadie last. She quickly found out that by searching at night was not as simple as she thought. All the determination in the world would make her path bright before her brighter. She had wished that her mom liked a unicorn so she could light her way. Familiar pathways became alien in the dark, and everything around her took a threatening appearance, just like every pony else. She had heard about the adventures of Elements of Harmony and how when they were off defeating Nightmare Moon, the element of laughter, and banished the shadows, frightening her friends. Pinkie Pie had even come into her school to talk to them about it. She was just an earth pony, too. Twinkle had wished could be more like her or Rainbow Dash, and less like a scaredy baby. Hearing about it and doing it herself, however, there were two very different things. She cleared her throat. Sadie? Her voice sounded tiny. She imagined Sadie lost and alone, and called louder, Sadie, come here, girl! Sadie! Sadie! Something flew up out of the branches overhead. Twinkle cowered, realizing seconds later it was a flock of pigeons that she had disturbed. Breathing a sigh of relief, she picked herself up and carried on. She was pretty sure that this was the path she had taken with the dog. It was full of rabbits and things, which Sadie had bounded off to chase. She often went off on her own, but now, she always came back before it was time to go home. What if something awful had happened to her? What if she had gotten her leg caught in a rabbit hole, or fallen in a gully, or eaten something she shouldn't? Terrible images flooded Twinkle's mind, spurring her to shout louder and louder, and the sound of her voice echoed off the trees, bringing life to the quiet night. Something shot across the path in front of her. It was the right size and it had a fluffy tail. Twinkle ran after it. Sadie, come back here! Sadie! Please, it's me! Don't be afraid, it's only a— Whoa! She skidded to a halt when the creature turned into a patch of moonlight, revealing a triangular face, weathered in fur and color of rust. The fox eyed at her balefully before skittering away into the dark. Twinkle nearly sat down and cried right there. She had been so hopeful she swiveled to return to the path, only to realize that she had turned herself completely around. The way behind her was choked with undergrowth that she had run through that. It didn't look like it had been disturbed, which led way back to the path. Then she turned several times, looking for something she recognized to guide her. Cold fear washed over her as she comprehended what she had done, and she was lost. Great gulping sobs caught in her throat. Mom was going to be so mad, and worst of all, she still hasn't found Sadie. She would have to wait until the sun came up to find her way home, or wait for some pony to come and find her. Then she would be in trouble and probably grounded, so she wouldn't get to look for Sadie then either. And if Sadie hadn't come home tonight or tomorrow, she would be hungry, or maybe it meant something had happened. Twigs snapped behind her. She whirled, but there was nothing there. Hello? Is some pony there? Hello? Hello? Mimicked a voice. Hello, hello, hello? Who's that? Who's that? It called back. I'm Twinkle. I'm Twinkle. It said in a perfect imitation of her voice. Twinkle paused. Parrots could do that, but they lived in jungles, not in woods like these, right? My name's Twinkle. I was looking for my dog and I got lost. Can you help me? Lost? It cried. Lost, 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 lost. Something about the voice crept her out. She started back the way she came, but stopped when she got one hind hoof caught in the brambles. She shook her leg, but they clung to her, tiny thorns dug in painfully. Lost, 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 lost. The voice continued careful. Lost, 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 lots. Stop it, Twinkle cried. That's not funny. She kicked and finally bucked until the brambles became loose. She stumbled forward, thrown off balance. Something wet and slimy slipped into her back. She turned her face up and her mouth opened wide with horror. All lost, said the creature, and crouched down in the branches above her. It dropped like a cat on an unsuspecting mouse. There was no scream. She didn't have time. Seconds later, all was left of Twinkle or the creature was the swaying bramble vine, stained with fresh blood.
What's up, my pretties? It's the Lion Queen here. I want to appreciate you all for tuning into this video, and I do appreciate you guys supporting my video by giving this video likes and stuff. If you really enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a like, comment and subscribe if you're new, ring the bell for notifications to when I upload so that way you guys will get updated for whenever I upload. If you want to follow me on Twitter or DeviantArt, feel free to leave a follow on those if you are interested in following me on those socials. If you want to support my backup channel, known as Miss Dark Shigo, feel free to subscribe to it, as a link to that will also be in the About page section. And with that being said, and that being the case, thank you so much for watching, my pretties, and as always, stay pretty.